What is up, y'all? Super Magism back with another Let's Play of Marvel before it got woke, go broke era. Now I'm trying to tweak my laptop. The screen of my laptop's tripping. But I think the last time I left off, I just finished up the Mandarin mission. I believe. Yeah, only 7 hours in. That's because I know pretty much what the hell I'm doing. I think I did some team power leveling. I think. I need to rewatch our previous Let's Play. Let's get a rundown of the squad right quick. Yeah, level 16. She has a point. Put it in here. I think I could put it on Venom Blast, Spider's Blood. Can't put it on there. I don't think I'm running her with a tract. From both her feet and hands, causing energy damage. Vital suffers. She's knocked back. So I got a point. Can't really do much with. Wolverine's okay. But yeah, let's go to the next mission of the game. I believe I've done everything I could possibly do.
Hi, what's new?
The nanotechnology team will be meeting in the Optronics lab. Colonel Fury, Red Rose is on. Warning, a small thermonuclear device is missing, and Deadpool was last seen in the weapons lab.
Yep, let's head on to the new headquarters.
Shield the castle! Now!
It's a nice little Nightcrawler. Video. I believe this came out after X2 and before X-Men 3.
On guard, my friend.
Get him to the lab immediately.
He did all that work just to get took out by an electrified door.
Greetings, my friends, and welcome to my home, the Sanctum Sanctorum. I realize an aging townhouse in Greenwich Village doesn't quite match the opulence of Stark Tower, but I think you'll find it comfortable. The rest of our team has already moved in. I would suggest you talk to Colonel Fury first. He has information concerning our next mission.
Alright, so we're in Doctor Strange's turn home. And I just grabbed something off the desk without even asking. Damn it, Cap. Why you gotta be so rude? Why you gotta be so rude, Cap? I already got the layout of way before the Doctor Strange movie came out. I was just looking around for stuff because I think in one of the rooms they had a Daredevil figure.
Team, welcome to our new headquarters, the home of Dr. Stephen Strange. We moved because now that Loki's involved, we're gonna need magic. And there's no better place on Earth for magic than this. Professor Xavier has located one of his X-Men in Dr. Doom's castle. That means Latveria is your next stop. For more info, talk to Black Widow. You're free to explore your new HQ, but when you're ready to start the mission, you...
So we got trivia. Hey, there's Charles Xavier. And I think they got Stewart to still reprise the role.
The Masters of Evil recently abducted 2 of my X-Men, Jean Grey and Nightcrawler. Colonel Fury has placed a priority on saving them. Apparently, he feels that by locating the wayward X-Men, you will also uncover the headquarters of the Masters of Evil. Yes, with the aid of Cerebro, I've discovered Nightcrawler is in Latveria. Nightcrawler's location really comes as no surprise, although I must admit I'm puzzled as to why Jean isn't with him. But there's no time to hesitate. To get to Latveria, use Doctor Strange's Orb of Teleportation. It will send you there. This is an uplink Beast created, so that I can access all of Cerebro's functions, even though I'm miles away. It's a large device located in the sub-basement of the X-Mansion. I use it to locate mutants around the world. No, but it can be dangerous to the untrained mind. That's why I will only allow the most experienced of telepaths to use it. Jean Grey and Emma Frost. His real name is Kurt Wagner, and he's perhaps the kindest soul I've ever met. Hailing from Germany, he is devoutly religious, despite his somewhat devilish appearance. Oh yes, he's been with the team for years. His mutant ability to teleport has saved the X-Men hundreds of times. Jean is quite a talented telepath, and very powerful at telekinetics, more so than she realizes. And that power carries a grave. If she expends too much energy, there is a chance her personality will be consumed by... Of course!
Yeah, they call it entity, but it's actually like a universal force, the Phoenix Force is. And so they kind of put it lightly. I forgot how I was able to get it in.
None shall enter this room.
Oh, I gotta have Doctor Strange in my party to go in there. Alright, the orb of teleportation. Yeah, so that'll get me to where I need to go. Mission view. Let's talk to Black Widow. If I can go up the stairs. Yeah, I can go up the stairs. I think that's where I'll find that figure.
Greetings, humans. I am Clea, Sorceress Supreme of the Dark Dimension and friend to Doctor Strange. Yes, but be wary. This is where Doctor Strange stores arcane objects. Most are harmless, but some could prove quite dangerous.
Hey, that name you gave me, CB Sobolski, was perfect. Yeah, he said all I need was a shield security module. Would you mind talking?
Greetings. I trust you have spoken with Clea about the dark magic. It is difficult to tell. The magic waits like a creature on the hunt. It lurks in the dark, waiting for its moment to pounce. I'm sorry. All I know for certain is that this... Long ago, I had been a doctor of surgery and injured my hands in a car accident. While searching for a cure, I met the Ancient One. Yes, but at the time his student was Baron Mordo. I discovered Mordo intended to steal the Ancient One's power, and I helped to stop
male,
it.
but in the
Since
Marvel
then,
Cinematic
Mordo and I
Universe,
have
they made
been
the
bitter
Ancient
enemies.
One female.
He grew up in the Himalayan mountains some 500 years ago. There he was trained in the mystic arts, but was ultimately forced to battle. The young man then dedicated his life to fighting dark magic, and joined the Order of the Ancient One. Your question?
Humans, I would warn you, dark magic is stalking Dr. Strange's My name is Clea. I am the Sorceress Supreme. Yes, we are quite well acquainted. Years back, Stephen brought me to Earth, and I became his student. Once I had learned all I could, I returned to my dimension to free it from the corrupt rule of my mother. All I can tell you is, this house, that is what most concerns me. It is happening now. A vile, dark sorcerer who has long been a rival of Stephen's. Long ago, Mordo pretended to be a student of the Ancient One. Of course.
Hey, did you see that Professor Xavier's here? With him on the case? Hey, come on. This is... If they'd been kidnapped by almost any other villain, I'd be fine. But no, but the guy's super smart, and with brains like his, what's not to be proud of? Look at the people I work with. Cyclops, Beast, Colossus, Emma Frost. They're all... Oh, he is one in a billion. Dignified, intelligent, and tough as nails when he asks... I'm sure she had a perfectly good reason to be lugging that laptop around in the middle of a... Look, she can't be guilty, okay? And you know why? Because she's really hot. I don't want her to be guilty.
See, this is proof that, Iceman was never gay. His creation, from the moment he was created, he has never been gay. You know, he has no track record of showing it whatsoever. But yet, Brian Michael Bendis, I don't know what Marvel was thinking. They already had, I think, quite a few gay members on the X-Men team. At least a couple or a few. Danny Moonstar, one of the founding members of the New Mutants. She's gay. I believe that's the only one. Oh, Northstar. Northstar came out the closet back in the mid-90s as being gay. He was like first official Marvel character, and like I said, the whole SJW thing was popping off even back in the 90s when everything was going politically correct. I noticed things after we turned over to a Republican president here in California, like a conservative ass backwards like Republican president, then all the liberals go batshit crazy. It's like, I'm Democrat, I'm pretty liberal, but once the office turned over to Republicans, then Californians lose their shit. And I remember that time Ellen DeGeneres came out, you know, everybody was coming out the closet back then as being gay or bi. You really didn't have... Oh, there goes my internet's tripping again. You didn't have much things, you know, concerning sexual identity. You didn't have all these pronouns back then. You were either straight, lesbian, or gay, or bi. And it's like, you really didn't have too many gender issues back then. Gender wasn't at the first front. In the mid-90s, it was all about, you know, coming out the closet. It wasn't about, you know, too much sexual identity. It's about, you know, just being openly gay. And, you know, a lot of youth at the time, you know, early 20s, late teens, you know, they were really rubbing it in, you know, like they're doing now. But because we didn't have the internet, it was kept to certain parts of the population. You know, a lot of the batshit crazy parts of the whole thing, because it kind of was a movement. It kind of was. Everybody was getting woke. They had quite a few movies back then, you know, called Higher Learning and some other movies, you know, that was, you know, spotlighting the rise of PC culture. And it was my generation that kind of sparked it. It was like, you know, you also had like the hippies, but then my generation, Generation X, kind of had our own little bout with it. But thank God we didn't have the internet to make it much worse. Like the kids do now. and you know the youth now have made it twice as worse. And then you have a platform where a lot of batshit crazy can get together and have one voice. Because before it was just spread out. Like I said, you would have to be a part of certain communities.
You mean because of the laptop we found on the helicarrier?
You would have to know certain people, certain groups, and meet
Black
up
Widow
in
is a
person.
lot of things.
You know, even though we had, you know, AOL, America Online, it was dial-up, and you were relegated to forums, you know, chat rooms, and that was pretty much it. And you know, and it was pretty, you know, there was some batshit craziness going on.
Know, because I fought beside her,
it was kept
and I've been
in check.
romantically
you know, social
involved
media
with her.
wasn't big. It wasn't so big to blow things out of proportion.
A person's heart rate changes when they lie, and Natasha's heart, yes, that's one of the. It blinded me, but it also heightened my other senses. I now have a radar-like ability to give me a mental picture of my surroundings.
You had it back then, like over 20 years ago.
That was because a
but
martial
it didn't
artist
last
named
very
Stick
long.
trained me how to use my new
popped up
abilities.
around.
Oddly enough, Stick's also
It
blind.
had a good 6 or 7 year period. It did. But then, you know, once the 90s came to a close, and you know, a lot of people in their 20s got into their, you know, their mid to late 20s, then a lot of the batshit craziness they had, you know, they got over it. Yeah, there's a double figure. And, you know, got on with their lives. You know, they either had life shit to deal with, which is most often the case. When you enter the workforce and you got life shit to deal with, you know, a lot of the bullshit that you cared about goes to the wayside. And then, you know, when a certain president gets in the office, you know, a lot of it dies down. So there wasn't, you know, too much. It got kept in check. You know, it came and it went. But now I believe a lot of the batshit craziness has started growing probably as far back as, you know, 2010, 2011. And I think now, you know, I think back in 2015, 2016, it reached this height of craziness. I think it's still at its height, but I think it's dying down. It's slowly dying down. A lot of people are realizing, you know, their batshit craziness. A lot of it has gotten out of control, and I do mean out of control. And a lot of the SJWs, Twitter Puritans, you know, they're so involved. You know, a lot of them profit off of it. You know, profit after the bullying, the shaming, the finger pointing, the criticizing. You know, people are making money off of that, being obnoxious and rude and spiteful.
I wonder if I could impose on you to locate the book entitled A History of the...
Latveria is a tiny country in Europe, located near Hungary. It's surprisingly well. There's virtually no crime because the country is patrolled by an army of robots. And thanks to Doom's genius in weaponry, Latveria is considered... He's the son of Loki, king of the frost giants. Odin took the infant Loki as his own son after defeating Loki in battle.
Down. It's like you're getting it's like right now a lot of people into it, they're wounded animals, and so there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal. But you know, a lot of places are starting to call them out on their bullshit. So a lot of it is dying down. You know, Twitter is now starting to ban a lot of these batshit crazy people. You know, some companies who are supporting it, you know, there are still some companies are kind of bending the knee. You know, they still are.
Yes, but as the two boys grew, so did Loki's hatred of Thor and his desire to rule Asgard. The one for accessing S.H.I.E.L.D. data. I suppose there's... You're welcome.
Use that striking upgrade to Marvel, but she has a hard time dealing damage, so separate Dormammu. But what's his name needs that book.
that disturbs my meditation. Correct. And no doubt, there must be grave danger in the world.
Expedition review. I'm gonna find that book. That book might be in that room. Who is not a member of the Vishanti? I do not know. I don't want to guess. Information on the brain patterns. Oh, Wonder Man? Oh shit. Other Black Widow, also known as Widow Belova, is the home of Doctor Strange. Thought he was X-Men. So a lot of the questions they ask her, which we'll find out in the game. Read finish up any child for girl to reach the air zone, be Dr. Doom from his uniform. His very first form to save Thor from Invisible Woman's mother. Blackfire's hit. Writer from the deal with Mephisto. I have no idea. I figured it was Roxanne because those other names you from that's kind of petty. Another, what villain was resurrected by using the clone body of Captain America? Stone. Life model decoy. Too strange. Wagner. Only being a superhero binary after finding the gem being subjected to power cosmic. Oh, by experiment all about abroad. Did not know that. Experience middle name is it Joseph? Yeah. I'll get the super strong restore from weapon extra. He was part of that. Okay, didn't know that. What does Arcade trap his victims? And murder. Oops, Murder World. I picked Murder Land. Nightcrawler's murder. Mother. Clea from the Dark Dimension. Peter Parker. Fear of enclosed spaces. Ingram was also a pilot. Worked under which name? Ant-Man, Giant Man, say Big Man. She was named the Walker, so responded during the battle with, was it the Shadow King? Fuck. Heavier, did not know that. Son. This is in this lock in this chambers. What she uses to recreate physical color the Phoenix. That is some bullshit. She combined with the Phoenix. The Phoenix would just take over. Yeah, Doctor Strange and Clea was knocking boots. There you go, my first world mass money for the bank robbery. Oh, did not attempt to save Elektra. Her father did not know that. Human Torch's uniform is never dead. Because it's made up of stable molecules, pin particles. forgot the name of his parents. Oh my god, he started with Dr. Super Soldier. It was not a Herald, it's Galactus. Herald, shit. Okay, how did Starro get her powers from Friday? He did. Yeah, some of these questions are hard unless you really know your Marvel lore. Oh, I forgot all about that. That is true. The member of the Shelty. Okay, now the question's yeah, I leveled up. Level up. Let me get Doctor Strange on my team so I can get into that room and get those perks. The only bad thing about I did raise the bench. Okay. I'm gonna put Doctor Strange on it just so I won't get a penalty for adding him to my team.
Move out.
Doctor Strange.
I hate it when he auto spin points because it's like, why? So he's at.
Let's hit him hard and make it hurt. Is that you, my student?
Yes, Master. It is I, Doctor Strange.
Why have you disturbed my meditation, young one?
The world is in grave peril, Master. Dr. Doom has formed a band of villains known as the Masters of Evil. I would ask that you watch over us, aid us in whatever way you can.
Rest assured, my friend, that the eyes of the Ancient One will forever be on you and your team.
Thank you, my master.
Focus upgrades. Focus upgrades.
All right.
Right. All right.
His focus is pretty low as a character. Alright, so we got the items. Swap out Doctor Strange. Not a huge fan of the Strange one.
Ms. Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Cause you gotta love that.
Team,
outfit.
assemble.
Team, assemble. Find that freaking book.
Well, what have we here? Do you honestly think any of you can hide from a super hacker like me? Well, I climbed up a drain. Nothing new. Far as I know, well, I bet.
Need to find that frickin' book. I think it's up one of these stairs. Yep. Right there. It's just me. Alrighty. Who's that supposed to give it to? Yeah, Vision.
Ah, you found the book. You're welcome.
Alright, so let me speak to Black Widow.
Wolverine, welcome to our new head.
I don't know about you, but this place gives me the creeps.
Located in Latveria's capital city, it looks like nothing more than a medieval castle. Advanced technology on Earth.
Speaking of Black Widow, there's I guess a teaser trailer that came out of the movie that's coming out next year in 2020. I watched a reaction video from Young Ripper, him talking about it.
Doom prefers to use robots for
Marvel
security.
Movie. Like they got,
These Doombots, as they are called, closely resemble the man who created them.
Like a Russian version of Captain America also makes a role, and also like her sister, or well, they say it's her sister in the movie, but in the comics it's her clone.
They were visiting Dr. Moira McTaggart on Muir Island when an army led by Ultron attacked.
And the clone was basically programmed with all of like Natasha's memories and stuff like that. And she's also blonde, and her name is Yelena Belova. But yeah, it's a clone. It's not really her sister.
Not seriously. Ultron's team did not waste time with unnecessary battle.
This is the MCU.
They fought their way into the lab area, trapped the X-Men in containment fields, and then teleported out.
It's like the screenwriters and writers, they like to take liberties with the screenplay and the characters.
Originally, I was a ballerina. I discovered the truth, that my husband was alive.
Yeah,
he had become an agent known as the Red Guardian, and his superiors wished him to sever all ties to his past.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make an appearance in the movie.
It was no trouble at all.
He's sort of like the Russian version of Captain America. Let's see what him's up to.
Hi, what can I do for you?
No, they don't call her White Widow. She just wore a different outfit at the time. Well, in the trailer, you could probably see the trailer online, Kari. But yeah, it's not really her sister, it's her clone.
That's the Orb of Teleportation. Yes. I guess since he's the Sorcerer Supreme,
but
he's the only one who can create such a powerful magical item.
I think they're gonna probably make the Red Guardian her father. I wouldn't be shocked because the dude looked old. He looked old in the trailer. Oh, you did? You saw it already? Yeah. It's like I wouldn't be shocked if they made the Red Guardian, you know, her father. Probably is her father in the movie. I don't know. It's like I can't judge these movies till I see them. Speaking of which, I'll probably watch Miss Marvel tonight on Disney Plus.
It's a very when the X-Men first formed, he used Cerebro to locate mutants with newly emerging powers.
It's like
but
I'm not
it's
the
primarily
most
used to save people in trouble.
die-hard Black Widow fan or the most informed Black Widow fan. All I know is she appeared in Daredevil comic. Daredevil and Widow was a team for years. I also know that her canon, her history with Wolverine, basically rescued her as a small girl when she was about to get kidnapped by the Hand Assassins. They were going to make her assassins, but she eventually grew up, I guess became a ballerina, and still ended up being an assassin. So, you know, him and Natasha got history. And even it said, like in the comic books, that Natasha, and this was like in the late 80s, early 90s, that she was at least, they were speculating that she was at least in her mid-40s, close to 50 years old. And this was the late 80s, early 90s. because basically when Wolverine rescued her, it was during World War II, so you're talking the 1940s, and she was probably maybe 5 or 6 years old. 5, 6, or 7 years old when he rescued her. And so Jubilee was like, you know, how do, you know, you have history? Like, well, you know, Wolverine tells his story. He's like, wait, you know, Black Widow's freaking gorgeous. There is no way she could be that old. And considering that comic came out in 1990, and she was probably 5 or 6 in maybe 1942, yeah, you're looking at someone who's in their early 40s. And this was like late 80s, early 90s. And Black Widow was in her early 40s. So, all you can say is just comic book time. Comic book, you know, comic book time moves slow. But considering she looked like she's probably in her early 30s, mid 30s, even though she's probably pushing, you know, 55, you know, that ought to tell you something.
Hello, I am Wall, Dr. Strange. It is a mystical device recently created by Dr. Strange. It aids him in reaching the Dark Dimension, where his friend Cleo resides.
So yeah, I believe it's gonna be interesting. This movie probably takes place before Endgame. Like I said, I think Natasha, you know, had to tie up some loose ends before, you know, going on her final mission. And you know, there was that time between the first Infinity movie and Endgame. There was like a 5-year gap, you know, after, you know, Thanos snapped his fingers and whatever that they could probably do with the character. But I just found it funny that, you know, they killed her off. They didn't have to.
Not
they could have
at
killed
all.
off somebody
Once
else.
I have attuned it to the proper location,
but, you know, I guess
you
they
may
wanted
use
to make it
anytime
tragic.
you like.
And you know, they had to have an ending. They wanted to go out with a bang, and I'm sure they wanted a way to safely write out the actors, because I'm not gonna lie, that's doing 7 years worth of movies is a grind. Alright. Who would I killed off? Looking at the roster, and considering that knowing what Marvel knows now concerning Spider-Man, even though they end up getting Spider-Man back as a deal, but it's kind of a half-ass deal. It's kind of to stave off the inevitable. I don't count I'm sorry, I was like, a lot of people count the Iron Man movies, but as far as, I don't really count the movies until Avengers started. Avengers started in 2012. I don't really count the movies to the Avengers starting. I don't count the MCU until the Avengers movie. You know, I don't know, did the Captain America movie come out before Avengers? I don't know. But basically, that pretty much started the MCU as we know it. The Iron Man movies, no. Iron Man movie just introduced Tony Stark and introduced Black Widow, introduced Rhodey, Potts, and, you know, the guy who was like the writer of the movie who was off over the chauffeur or whatever. But as far as like the whole concept in the MCU, really didn't get started until Avengers, the first Avengers movie. You know, when you got Fury, you got all the key component characters. It's like Iron Man, a lot of people forget that Iron Man was just a part of the thing. Granted, he was kind of the glue, you know, because of Robert Downey Jr.'s star power, and only Robert Downey Jr. could do it. But if you put any other actor in that role, nobody would have cared about Iron Man. I'm just being honest, because the character is not even that relevant in the comics. The last time Iron Man been relevant was during Civil War. That was it. That was the last time they had a key focal point where Tony Stark had so much power, such a pivotal role in the Marvel Universe. That was like the only time. Other than that, Iron Man he was just there. He was just there, kind of like Daredevil. And I said Daredevil, you know, for a long period of time was more popular than Iron Man. It's like, you know, the 90s Daredevil had a good run. I would say in the early 2000s Daredevil had a new run. And it's like, you know, outside of Robert Downey Jr. playing the character in the movie, yeah, Iron Man was just there. he really had not much to do outside of Civil War. He never really used him that much.
All is in order. Our guests will be arriving soon, and I would hate to be ill-prepared.
You can rest assured. I have taken
I thought it funny that they made that guy talking Baron Mordo a black guy in Doctor Strange movie.
Spells. The heroes have detected your magic and suspect something is afoot.
They cannot possibly know the true meaning of the enchantments. I'd stake my life on it.
Be careful what you wager.
Loki, leave the good bone. What does it matter if the heroes...
For his sake, they'd best be. I'm taking a grave risk being associated with the Masters of Evil.
Make no mistake, my friend. We all stand to lose much if we fail. Which is why I'm certain Baron Mordo will achieve success. But I would warn you, Baron, my faith only goes so far. Failure will not be tolerated, and the penalty will be most...
They change it up too much where they're denying, you know, tradition and history of characters. I need to send you a video probably on YouTube that you need to watch. Will basically touch on the stuff I've talked about. That show you I'm not the only person talking about this stuff. It's like look up Young Ripper on YouTube.
If we do not move swiftly,
and basically he talked about, you know, how Marvel has been lazy with a lot of its race and gender changing of characters over the past like 10 years. It has been really lazy, and he makes a lot of great points. A lot of points I bring up that a lot of normies and casual comic fans were like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's good. It's like, that's bullshit. Basically, you guys are getting duped by a big corporation. But you guys are like, you guys eat it up. You guys eat it up like like a kid at the candy store. But it's like, you know, old school comic fans, we are not that gullible or stupid, you know, because we've been there from the jump and we've seen how these companies operate.
You must know you're there. Watch yourselves.
It's like, don't get me wrong, some race change characters work.
Your primary
you know, there are some tokenized characters that work, like She-Hulk. Black Nick Fury, but he was in a whole different universe, the Ultimate Marvel Universe.
Once they're safe, find out whatever you can
Spider-Woman.
about the Masters of Evil's next move.
Then there are some characters where Marvel
Senator
is
Kelly was
just
abducted in the middle of the night.
pandering and trying too hard.
A jack-in-the-box was left in his place. I have no idea, but keep your eyes open and see if you can find any information on the Senator's location.
Like, I say Miles Morales was reaching too hard, because I actually read the graphic novel that showed his first appearance when I was helping out Alan at his shop. And as much as I wanted to hate it, it was a good read, but the biggest issue was, it was pretty much Spider-Man's mythos. It was just a black Latino version of Spider-Man. The only thing that was different was the fact that Miles Morales has both his parents. He wasn't raised by a nut, but he still goes through the same teenage issues and drama that Peter Parker did. It's basically a black version of Peter Parker. It doesn't matter if you love him or not. It's just the fact that he's a tokenized character. It's like, he really serves no purpose. He really doesn't. He wasn't really needed. You already got Peter Parker. And he's basically going what is like a rerun of Peter Parker, just with a different skin color and ethnicity. Yeah, see, now he loses his mom. And it's like, but at the same time, it's still basically, you know, Peter Parker. It is what it is. There's no real difference. It's like, I read it. There's only like small differences, but that isn't much.
Bub, you're
yeah,
a
see,
mess.
it's like, it's not much. It's like they're just adding on stuff just to add on stuff. It's like, remember, as much as I give Bendis a lot of credit for saving Marvel from being total garbage in the early 2000s, it's like he ran out of ideas. He ran out of a lot of ideas. This is the same guy who made Iceman gay. This is the guy who basically said no more mutants, and basically killed the X-Men universe. This is the guy who, I guess, pushed the forefront of Avengers, Hulk, and all the old school characters. You know, he did just as much bad as he did good during his run with Marvel. You know, I'm not saying that everything he did was bad, but he made some decisions that were questionable. Not all of it was bad though. Not all of it was bad. It's like I would give him as far as a I would give Bendis as far as his grade. I would say he gets a B. He gets a B as far as his contribution to Marvel Mythos, but then a lot of it pretty much got destroyed when they hired a lot of creators the past, you know, few years that were not qualified. Were not qualified to work on Marvel films at all. Marvel Comics sales-wise, not until like the last, like just the summer, where they've kind of been doing better. But that's because of X-Men and Spider-Man. You know, the House of X, Powers of X,
you are getting up from
and,
that.
you know, the whole Spider-Man shit. Nah, No More Mutants was a shitty one. It was shitty. I think the only thing that was so good about that thing, that was that line I told you about when the X-Men, you know, had the last of the mutants on lockdown in the mansion. And they had, you know, Sentinels guarding them and shit like that. You know, then it gave reason for S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government to have the X-Men on watch, you know, since they had like the last group of mutants on the planet. So it was a weird time. It's like Chris Claremont, he tried to keep the characterization on point for the characters, but as far as the X-Men universe, it was nerfed. It was nerfed to all hell. It was so nerfed. So bad. I know why they did it. I understood why they did it. It still didn't, you know, stop, you know, the stupidity of it, because, you know, granted, I know X-Men has been the flagship title at Marvel for like Miss Marvel? That is pathetic.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get that to But yeah, No More Mutants was dumb. I didn't like it. Now that's not to say other people didn't like it, but it was also the time where they had you know, I think Secret Invasion, because you gotta remember, this was all a ploy by the Skrulls, you know, to nerf the Marvel Universe so they could come in and invade. It was like that, Civil War, No More Mutants, Civil War, and all that other shit was to lead up to the invasion. So they wanted to nerf, you know, the X-Men, the mutant population. So we're really gonna crawl through that stuff hella fast.
Got it.
Almost got wiped out. like, don't get me wrong, you know, quite a few of those books are fun to read, but they're not fondly remembered. They don't get talked about much.
Whatever.
It's like that was definitely before the get broke era of Marvel Comics. So
I can't move forward. I can't move forward.
Got stuff. But yeah, Young Ripper, he does bring up a good video pointing out all the points and also cover all his tracks and all the arguments. More so than I do. When I bring it up, people think I'm just being a hater. But nah, that's not being hate. That's just calling knowing what the hell is going on. You learn that after years of being in the comic books. You just have to agree to disagree. but it is what it is. That's what I tell people all the time. It's like, we can agree to disagree, but I'm still gonna count out this. I'm gonna call out the bullshit, even though you may not like it. But yeah, he makes a lot of good points. Pretty much points that I bring up to people. But they just don't. But a lot of people, you gotta also admit there's a lot of delusional things. There's a lot of people who want to be a part of something. And it's like, look, if you want to be a part of something, fine. That is perfectly fine. And if you want to have fun with it, that's fine.
I've already got you beat.
It's like, but at least listen to the people who have a beef with you. It's like, because there are some people who come off like they want this shit to go bad. They want this shit to go bad. There are people who want this shit to go bad. They do. They want Marvel to fail. They want these books to be. They want these books to be bad. They just want to destroy shit that normal people like, or geek people like. They want to destroy fandoms. They want to kill, you know, these people interested in it because they want to change shit. You know, they use it as a form of activism. You know, and that's not cool. Like, how would you feel if somebody came to something you're like and totally destroyed it just because they got a beef or some kind of political agenda or some bullshit like that? It's like, no, you don't want that shit. You don't want that in your fandom. You don't want these people to be a part of your fandom. But no, they're in it. And they are working in the industry.
Sounds good.
And, you know, sadly, you know, they may come off like they have the best intentions, but in reality they don't. They have ulterior motives. And then when you discover what those ulterior motives are, then they start to attack you. Then they want to discredit you. They want to dox you. They want to talk shit about you. They want to make you come off like the biggest scumbag on earth just because you have a different opinion and call out their bullshit. And it's rampant online. It's very bad. It's like, that's why it's like when I have the opinion I do, it's not because I'm hating. It's just because I know the bullshit involved. I know all the bullshit involved in this. And if you don't stand for something, you'll stand for anything. Oh,
I suppose Professor Xavier sent you to save me. Well, he shouldn't have bothered.
I am very different. For the first time in my life, I'm free. Free to use my powers without being restrained by Xavier and all the rest of you.
Too bad she wasn't playable in this game, but I don't know. In Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, she is fucking OP. The 360 and PS3 version of the game, yeah. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, she is busted. Best character in the game by far. Don't get me wrong, every character is playable, but in terms of raw damage and just mowing through enemies, oh yeah, Jean Grey is busted.
He told me you'd say something like that. And he also told me the truth. He said you fear me, because I'm more powerful than any of you.
Liar! Everyone has tried to stop me from exploring just how powerful I am. Well, I think it's about time I found out.
Did X-Men
Don't you?
Last Stand come out? I think it was 2006. I swear they must have used Jean Grey from freaking that Wolverine figure out rape bosses and everything. He does. Wolverine is OP when it comes to boss battles. Look at it, he's just melting very like bar like butter. The only problem is he runs out of energy heck fast. Berserker rage now. But there it goes. But he runs out of freaking focus heck fast. Oh man, he's whooping his ass.
Fools! I'll deal with you later.
Yep. Knew I was in the Murder World. I'm not gonna lie, this level's pretty big. There are also parts of this level that is so annoying.
Hello,
I think I unlocked Blade
This is
in
your
this
old
level.
buddy Arcade. I hope you're ready for a fun-filled day at Murder World, because I've got some killer events lined up. I know you've been running yourselves ragged trying to stop Dr. Doom, so I spoke to Baron Mordo. He was able to divert your teleportation spell to my little land of fun and assassination. See how tense you are? This little vacation is just what you need. And remember, no one ever leaves Murder World unhappy, because no one ever leaves Murder World alive!
I swear, Arcade and Murder World always gets brought up when writers can't come up with new storylines or they want to kill somebody off. I think the X-Men clashed with them at least 3 or 4 times. I know the Avengers had a run in. I remember they killed off a whole bunch of young Avengers. I forgot what it's called. It was like Murder World. Like it was based on Battle Royale and what's that cheesy ass movie? Cheesy ass. They were entertaining. They were like these teen movies where these people were poor and they got picked to kill each other off. The Hunger Games. Yeah, Hunger Games. It was Battle Royale, came out first, and then even the writer admits who created the Hunger Games was like her fan fiction version of Battle Royale. And then Marvel did a series where they killed off a whole bunch of like young superheroes. They had what's her name from Runaways, Nico. They had X-23. They had a couple of other Young Mutant characters. They had Darkhawk. And they were in Murder World where they were first to kill each other till the last one was left standing. And I think at the end, X-23 walked out alive. I think it was between Nico and X-23. I know that. Everybody else pretty much got murdered, got killed. I didn't read all of it, but when I did read those passages. I know none of that stuff would stick. It wouldn't become canon. I think some of the characters they kept dead or haven't used today. Yeah, this is where the difficulty picks up a notch.
Hey, if you're planning on torturing me, you're only proving what I've been saying all along. How do I know you didn't stage this whole event so that I'd be grateful to you? All right. What should thank you? And I suppose I should apologize for my rude behavior. But you have to understand, a man in my...
Everyone all right?
I really need some help.
Why can't Miss Marvel take a hit? That's what I do not understand. And they keep giving me this freaking power.
Okay, sure.
Miss Marvel's not gonna last long. Because she cannot take a hit to save her ass.
Well, if it isn't my dear, dear friends, you're wasting your time trying to... Liar! Arcade isn't controlling me. Then it looks like Arcade is...
You haven't seen the last of me. She sucks. Look at that. Spider-Woman could just...
Arcade! Help me!
Mollywop these bosses with a few blasts.
Gene. I had so hoped you'd kill them. Temper. That's no way to enjoy your day at the park. Why don't you test your
Hey
video
Curry, have you been playing with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 since that day you came over?
Watch out. There's going to be a few pitfalls along the way.
How far did you get?
Let's...
Grinding with
Did you?
The lower level left.
You need 2 golden...
Oh, you're waiting for us to play. Well, shoot, if you're home, you should just come over. Okay, that's our button to jump. So yeah, they give you this cheesy game that plays like Pitfall. Plays like the old school Atari game Pitfall. Yeah, they threw in this little game in here. It was funny because even Mitch is something about pitfalls. Now that I think about it, I think that's not what I want to do. There we go. Oh, that was just yeah, this part again was annoying because I got that old school Atari physics. I tried to choose it. Ah, come on. They only give you enough time to hop on each of the gators' heads. Oh. Shitty. Shitty collision detection will do that. Alright, down the hole. And I ran into, oh my god, I ran into a snake. Forgot that snake was there. There we go. Gotta do it one snake at a time. One gator at a time. Oh yeah, how's Pokemon treating you? And I get touched by fire. Ooh, good thing I jumped. That log would have got me. Oh, there's another one over there. Damn it. Gotta go down the hole. Oh, that was stupid. Oh my god. Sorry. How's Pokemon been treating you? Oh, come on. I am not hitting that snake. What? I can't... Okay, there is something wrong with this game if I can't get over the snake. Okay, I was about to say. Okay, just like the openness. That's all you could say that's good about that game. I like the openness. I was watching my friend Sandra play it last night. And she was like, man, this game, she said Pokemon is hella easy. She said what makes it easy is the fact that when you level up one, you level them all up. And I was like, yeah, that does make it pretty easy. Like, granted, some will level up faster than others, but you know, the ones you lose, the ones you use will level up faster than the ones you don't. But you getting your ass whooped? What? Sorry, man. I thought you were the Pokemon master. I thought you were the master of Pokemon. Damn it. You need to start boosting up your levels, bro. And granted, I have seen some battles where the computer, by higher level, you're the best. Of course, anytime you have higher level Pokemon, you're gonna dominate other ones, well, when they're built up or whatever. But I have seen some people who kind of struggled. And there are some Pokemon that'll whoop your ass. But for the most part, you know, Sandra's like, that game was not worth $60. She said if they would have sold it for like $59.99 or $49.99, then it would have become okay, this game's really good for that price. So basically, you're like a kid in a big candy store. You're like, I want that Pokemon. No, I want that Pokemon. If they do that on purpose, like I said, they're gonna make that game. They're gonna make that game grindy. It's like Pokemon. There is grind to it when you level up your Pokemon, but I think they're gonna add more to it with DLC over time. I think that game is gonna have at least a 3 to 4 year run before they make another one. And they're just gonna give you a whole bunch of DLC. They're gonna bring in more Pokemon. They're gonna bring in all the stuff that people complained about. They're probably gonna have a graphical update. Okay, probably not. I don't think they're gonna have a graphical update. But they are gonna bring in stuff to the game over time. Patches, updates, fixes, DLC. It's a no-brainer. Because that's what I would do if I was them. Plus, it's like a bare bones game anyway.
I just had this.
Look around, Red. Somehow that nutball arcade was controlling you.
Other than a few bumps and bruises, I'm fine.
I hate to rush you, but if you could...
The last time I saw Kurt, Dr. Doom...
That must be that mutant amplifier they swiped...
I do remember Arcade was there with Doom. If you can...
Sounds like a plan, Genie. You stay here and rest up. We're gonna track down Arcade and have a few laughs with him.
Yeah, I could probably finally level up Blade. Well, get Blade. Oh crap! I should have went back. I need to go back and hit up that save point.
Kids. Indeed, I can see.
I don't want to go through that. I'm stuck. Damn it! I gotta go through this shit. And I'm stuck. Oh damn! I got blasted.
Guess you didn't want a piece of me.
Oh, yeah, can't get too close to those.
Everyone all right?
Oh, got too close. Yeah, the level design, I gotta give it for the level design in this game. The level design was nuts. See, that's what I love about games from PS2, GameCube, and original Xbox era. It was like, you know, they still had creativity. What I mean by creativity, you know, the fact that you work with what you were given.
Not much of a challenge, really.
It was like games didn't have humongous budgets, they had decent budgets. But what they had, they took full advantage of. Cause this level design this game also plays a lot slower.
So, who's
compared to, especially compared to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 combat. Is that the Rhino?
Get ready to meet 700 pounds of maniacal muscle, the Rhino!
End of the line, losers. I'm gonna flatten you into the dirt. Are you trying to make me mad? Because that's exactly what you don't want to do. That does it. When I'm done, there won't...
Hit her because she's on the
I don't.
Got it.
Okay, who's next?
horn. He's horny. It wasn't until later that I figured out you can hit these things and knock these things down. And you'll raise like a little high score thing. But I was just trying to survive and get through the freaking level.
See you around, sucker.
Oh, that was sick. I do that thing all over the place. Ooh, my father's strikes are great. Need that. Father save
Okay.
Prepare yourself for the Duke of Destruction, the King of Sting, the one, the only, Shocker!
Can't say I care much for being in this big pinball machine. But I do like being paid to bust up you freaks. Oh, you're a real laugh riot, you know that? But we'll see who's laughing after I've shattered every bone in your body.
Push to Wolverine and just decimate. Yep, just like that. Alright, gotta do that.
Move fast, cause it's time.
Oh no, not multi-balls. Multi-balls.
Right.
Sure.
Marvel, you were garbage. Ugh, trying to use her, but she dies so quick. Let's see my team. Did I get another perk? Yes, I did. I need to add somebody else to my bench. I should get team vitality next. Details. Trials of Mana. What? That's your money. You get whatever you want, guy. You get whatever you want. Plus 10% to all resistances. Which tail turns to cause knockdown on range attacks. damage to all energy powers. Wow. Hell yeah, she's going full energy. Full energy. He got his Dragon Heart. Chance to all attacks. Chance to dodge melee attacks. He doesn't really need that. She has this energy regenerate at 75% of normal rate. I should give her this one. Increases power damage by 25%. But we'll see how this goes. Swapping out this person because she is so garbage in this game. It's not even funny. Alright, I'm gonna go with Cheese. I'm gonna go with Cyclops. Let's see. I hate it when they auto level my characters. I really do. So all beam attacks also gives beam attacks and increased hit chance. Launches a continuous stream of optic beams. Excuse me. Oh, he got that cheesy ass power roundhouse kick. Okay, that's his best attack. And then Ricochet Blast. So Ricochet Blast and the other one is like his best attacks. Combat expertise. Damage is reduced for the entire team. Gives increased damage to all. Also gives beam attacks and a critical hit. So you can only use either or. I'm going to swap out. I'm going to use beam power. Alrighty. What kind of gear I want to give him? I don't want to auto gear. +2 defense, +1 to optic stream. That's kind of meh. Go with that one. So, all right, let's boost up his outfit, boost stats. Oh yeah, this Cyclops is gonna be mean. Let's see his stats. So health.
They ain't gonna know what hit him.
I didn't even put him on the team. Let's see. Change team. Should have went back so I can get Blade.
Cyclops.
There we go. Put him on my roster so I don't get hit. What a freaking penalty.
Great. Another mission.
Affirmative.
I think I might do. I already did fan art of Spider-Woman, but it was kind of meh. I need to do Another fan artist, Spider-Woman. Let's open it. Enter the tent. Okay, I was in here already.
Very
That
nice.
is nice. It doesn't do a lot of damage. I thought it was a little hurt. Damage, but I think I'll get, once I get his powers up, he'll be able to do more damage.
My target's dead.
But I have to go through the freaking, the Asgard kind of team thing and go through so I can build him up. Right now, he does not do a lot of damage. Fun to use, though.
Affirmative.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I gotta get that camera.
Yeah.
Everyone all right?
But I need to find this hammer. Opened it. But let me get up this secret area first. Let's see. I don't want to leave this area until I get Blade, and I know he's in one of these machines. Because he could easily be left. He could easily be forgotten.
Sounds good.
traps all over the place. I think in the long run, as far as the Marvel MCU universe, they just need to make good movies and they will be fine. They need to keep all of the social, political bullshit out of it, and I think they'll be fine. It looks like Black Widow's gonna be a straight up action flick, which is great. Even though people were kind of worried, you know, when the screenwriter said that she wasn't gonna be a slave to the source material, you know, but it looks like they are using the source material. I think what they need to do is just keep these people who are not who they hire, who are not comic book people, to stop doing interviews. Please, keep them out of the media. Keep them away from the media. The only time they should get interviewed is, you know, if they're really passionate about the project and probably the premiere of the movie. That's other than that, keep these people out of, keep them off of Twitter, keep them off of social media, because, you know, comic book fandom, the haters and the agenda people, you know, they're just going to add their focus to everything.
Feeling stronger.
Alright, here's this vending machine with Blade in it. Ah, screwed up. Alright, so I got Blade.
How in blazes did I get here? And speaking of that, where is here?
I think at that time, I think either Blade 2 or Blade 3 came out. I think it was probably Blade 2 came out a little bit before this game out, or Blade 3. He was pretty popular for a small bit of time. Wesley Snipes did the character justice.
What would a loser like Arcade want with me? Doom, huh? Any idea what he's up to? Now this is starting to sound interesting. Tell you what, I'm joining the team.
Got Blade. Games, you gotta search every nook and cranny. Yeah, this game came out around 2005, 2004, so yeah. So yeah, this fits around that time.
Did you?
She is one-shotting fools with this hammer. This game came out in 06. I know this game came out, it was a launch title for the Xbox 360. And the Xbox 360 came out around 05.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Are you looking at all the games? Because remember, this came out on the PS2, the original Xbox, and the GameCube, the Wii, the PS3, and the Xbox 360. Well, I could find out myself. Let me see, because I got the game. Let's see. Alrighty. Oh wow, this thing just fell apart on me. Yep, 2006, you're right. Yep, that's around the time when I was working at Kmart. I must have fond memory of 2004. I was still, it was like, it was a typical retail job, bunch of BS. It wasn't bad. They just had me running toy department. Sometimes had me work over in had me work in toys. Well, I was in toys, but sometimes they'll have me work in oh, Wolverine's dead. Good trap. Sometimes they would have me work over with the bikes. They try to get me to build bikes. They had me work at sporting goods sometimes. They had me work they didn't have me work in food too often. Yeah, that place was understaffed. It was understaffed. It was about to close anyway. It closed, I think, 06. Near the end of 06 anyway, so it's like, eh.
Did you?
level.
I had fun. Did you?
Cars. Oh my god, I hated this level.
Did you?
Got another ticket. Yay. Wolverine died in a freak accident.
Need a hat. Everyone all right?
Yeah, I admit the difficulty went up a lot when you came to this level. I think there was a certain trick you had to do to beat the boss. But I'm short Wolverine, so this might be challenging. Oh no, I can hit up the save point. Okay, cool. I can't revive him. Damn it. Damn it! I can't revive Wolverine. I gotta wait like 57 minutes to bring him back. Who do I want to replace him? I guess I'll bring Miss Marvel back since she's on the team. Oh, this is gonna suck balls. Wait, do I have I think I got another spot. Let's see. Yes, I do. I got another spot. So, I'm gonna bring in Magneto. Because Magneto, in my opinion, is the...
Magneto
is probably the best character in the game, hands down. Definitely want to go with the waves. Magnetic pulse. I'll go with magnetic pulse. It's when he gets his magnetic toss, where he is just, just murder. Let's see, you got magnetic shield. Chance to deflect projectiles, dark energy to increase all party member skill and outfit ranks. It's 1 point spent in the ability. I'm gonna go. Should I go with the green top? No. He's Magneto. He's gonna go. So definitely gotta build up magnetic damage. Because Magneto.
Alright, team, let's roll.
Oh. After this, I probably might do some power leveling. Just to make the game easier.
Affirmative.
Need a hand.
Needle is busted. Oh yeah. You could probably solo the game with Magneto so easily. He is that good. I gotta go through these orders.
Looks like you lose.
Yeah, because even if his ability doesn't beat you with pure damage, it's gonna push everybody back. And then that wall. Oh crap. Oh, this is so annoying. Now we gotta play. They put so much in this game, so much witty games. They put a lot of old school arcade games. Ah. Yeah, missed it. Ah. And then Magneto was like, we don't got time to be playing video games. We need to stop Dr. Doom. No, we over here playing bricks. I'll get that last one. No, won't get it, won't get it. Come on, get it. No, it won't get it, won't get it, won't get it, won't get it. Ah. Yeah, there's at least 3 or 4 games in the game in this game. It's like first I went through Pitfall. That was the first.
Who's next?
there's quite a few games in this game, which made this game so good. They put so much in this game.
Perhaps you don't know who I am. Okay, who's next?
There's door number 2. I opened it already,
okay. I hope you're ready to dance till you drop, because in a little bit, you're going to be as dead as disco.
That wasn't very nice.
Hey, Cyclops. Damn. Cyclops just went all in. Oh, can't break through that wall. Fall through the floor. Oh.
I hope you kids had a fun day at the park. You have no idea how much your mother and I had to scrimp and save so we could afford to send you here. Well, I can see someone's getting cranky, but that's okay. I've got a little something here. All right, you asked for.
Alright, so we gotta get him the middle of the thing. Yeah, so we gotta get him like right here. Probably one of the most annoying battles. Right when I fell down the thing. Oh, Cyclops is almost dead.
I could really use some help.
Watch it.
Very well.
Hopefully this is how to do it. There we go.
You kids are being very naughty. You're all grounded. I don't know. Maybe he ran away and joined the circus. I don't know, okay? Dr. Doom wanted to use the mutant amplifier on him. Doom used the mutant amplifier on Nightcrawler to open portals to Mephisto's realm. And before you ask, I don't know why he wanted to go there.
Yeah, I got him. It was one of those boss battles where you had to... My inventory is full. How do I get rid of extra? Let's see. Details, gear. I don't want to auto-equip gear. Oops, not what I wanted. Alright. Alright, how do I get rid of it? Okay, I can sell it. Nice. Gotta get the rare loot.
That was a nice job in Murder World. You turned a potential disaster into a successful mission. That dark magic Clea had sensed was Mordo's spell waiting to divert the orb of teleportation. But Wong's corrected the problem. It won't happen again.
Good job, Wong. Yes, scrotum.
Yes. Xavier's discovered that Arcade was telling the truth. Doom used the mutant amplifier on Nightcrawler to open a portal to Mephisto's realm. It's a dimension of fire and brimstone, and it's where you're headed next. For more information, talk to Professor Xavier, or, if you're ready to go now, use the Orb of Teleportation.
Hey, Kari, what was the name of that site you go to watch your American versions of your cartoon? Was it Cartoons Online? Because I think I found it, and they do allow you to download the shows, which is awesome. Right now I'm downloading G.I. Joe episodes off the site. What you do is you go on a computer, you play the video like you're streaming it, but then you right click it and go to save to video as, and you will save it to your computer, and you can save it to a USB stick and plug it into your PS4. Make sure you download the one app that allows you to play you know, different digital downloaded stuff. And you can download shit. So I'm like, awesome. So yeah, if you want to level up in this game, go to the Thunderball mission. And this is how you can tell what characters are weak, what characters are awesome, what characters are busted. This is how you do it. And they changed Wolverine. Costume. There we go. There's too many X-Men on this team, but it works.
Let's work together, team.
Thunderball was one of 3 inmates who helped the villain known as the Wrecker escape from prison. He was also there when the Wrecker's powers were reactivated by a bolt of lightning. And due to that bolt of energy, Thunderball received a portion of those powers.
I also forgot how cheesy the voice acting is.
Watch yourselves against Thunderball. The man's as smart as he is strong.
This is going to be a piece of cake.
You're not the best at what you do. You are less than formidable. You're not the best at what you do.
A lot more challenging.
Trust you're not the best at what you do. How pathetic. You're not the best.
Hey, Kari, did you hear me about as far as Cartoon Online site? You can download the stuff. You can watch it if you have extra computers. Yeah, I can download all the freaking American cartoons. Funny. Kiss Anime, they also have an American cartoon site, just like the anime site, but you can't download off of it. Up in there.
Trust you're not the best at what you do. Once again, victorious.
Magneto is just right now. So it looks like he gets power level up. Yeah, Kiss Anime is pretty good. You can actually watch it on your phone. I download my anime. They have the music stuff. They have it in English and in subtitles. You know, they have both versions of it, and you can get it in HD quality.
You're not the best at what you do.
They got found out. A lot of these are on servers out of the country. So that's why they take forever for the government or whatever to find them. And what they do is to stop people from going on them, they place the site with malware and viruses. That's why whenever you click on something, they'll send you to a whole different website. So you gotta click on it again.
Once again.
Kingdom Hearts 3, or did you trade it in?
Run when you have a chance.
Did you renew your PSN? The PlayStation Network, so you can play it on online. Over the weekend I played it and I leveled up my character up to level like almost 200, well to 155, 158. Just playing with like higher level people online. Like I got some pretty good busted guns that helped a lot. I probably beat the game, but I didn't get the good ending. But I beat the game. Mollywop.
Typically feeble.
I don't have enough power.
Rico and hell.
the energy for that.
It's funny because you can't decimate mobs as a character. You can murder bosses, but mobs. I don't know. I think with your side, your thing is like you watch on your PS4. The only thing bad thing about it is gonna take up all your RAM. You have to clear out your freaking all the time. Like I watch Crunchyroll on my PS4, but it's on the server side when I stream it, so it really doesn't get saved to my computer bad. But since you were streaming it through a web browser on the PS4. It gets saved to the quick use tab on the PS4, the search system on the PS4, the web browser. So it's like that's why I don't use stuff like this online on the PS4. Like I'm happy with it. It's like the only thing problem with Crunchyroll you always have to deal with the ads, and you gotta wait like 2 weeks in order to watch a new episode. If you pay for it, you know, you'll see it the day it drops. But if you're doing the free, you're gonna have to wait like a good 10 days before you can watch the episode. With Kiss Anime, especially since you're watching on your phone, you'll see it the day it comes out. It's all free. And you can also download it. So if there's an anime series that you want to watch over and over again, you know, because you're a cheap bastard like me and don't want to buy you shit. You know, it's the way to go.
You were less than forward.
Plus, not a lot of people you have to order a lot of it, you know, Funimation license a lot of it. You know, Funimation got their streaming service, so it's like a lot of the anime you're gonna have to watch. If you do find it, you're gonna have to order it online from the Blu-ray. White Stuff International and places like that as well. Think about these enemies, like they level up almost as much as you level up, but you can still do pretty good damage to them, so...
You're going to regret you. This is.
Breaker mode.
Stay down.
Got it.
Team, good job in defeating Thunderball. He's one of the toughest simulations.
Yeah, simulation, yeah. It can be annoying, but it's not that tough. I just use it to power up characters. Let's see, I want to do these missions, but these missions are harder. They're like single character missions. But they give you a lot of them. They don't have episode 12? No episode 12? G.I. Joe? What the F? What the F? Call it episode 13. Alright, let's see how much levels I went up. Details. Oh, only got 1 point. He went up like 3 levels, went up 1 point. I need that magnetic toss. Once I get magnetic toss, it is over. It is a done deal once I get that. Alright, I got his ricochet blast. Optic Stream isn't bad, but it's not as damaging as this one. Need that optic explosion. That's where he's gonna do his good damage. Captain America's still down. What? There we go. He's back to life. Back to life. Oh, man, when you look at old school late 80s animation, it just looks so choppy, especially after you've been watching anime for years. It's like the intros to the 80s cartoons were like very well animated, because they usually outside that to get source for somebody else to animate it, and then you watch the actual show and it's like, okay, why doesn't the intro look as well animated as the freaking, you know, why doesn't the show look as well animated as the intro?
Augment whatever innate powers a mutant has. But the amplifier never got past the testing phase because of the side effects. The device was so powerful, it had a way of burning out test subjects. Any mutant that used it usually wound up in the hospital for a couple of weeks. You know me.
Alrighty, I am going to call it an evening as far as this game is concerned. I got a bit of the munchies. I might make myself a cup of decaf coffee, give myself a slice of potato pie, and I don't know, I might play another game later, but that's going to be it for this stream. Take care, y'all.